Yo, mates, as you know, not too long ago, Eubank Jr. and Conor Benn were set to fight on October the 8th, 2022, O2 Arena in London. But the fight collapsed in October after it was revealed that Benn had failed 2 drug tests. And with that, the hype and the build-up was terminated. Benn versus Eubank Jr., game over just 3 days before it was even going to take place. But you know, close to a year has passed. Benn seems to have been cleared, and Eubank Jr. had fought Liam Smith twice, and in the rematch, as we all know, he stopped Smith. So it seems fitting that Benn versus Eubank Jr. can now proceed, right? So, word on the net is that this fight is being formulated as I speak, according to the man himself, Mr. Eddie Hearn, who said possibly in December. Nice little Christmas present that'll be. Is this a fight of worth? I really don't think so on paper. Now, if it had occurred when it was supposed to last year, October, then yes. Why is it not a fight of worth to me? Simply put, it's a catchweight fight. These two blokes are weight classes away, that's why. And sometimes the whole catchweight thing affects the natural balance of things in boxing, as we all know. Is it expected to be a fan-pleasing fight? Hell yes, it is. Especially from the born rival's perspective. If you know the history, their fathers fought. So it is only fitting that the sons of the fathers fight. And that is the main lure of this expected fight to me. Who then has the advantage in this fight, if it occurs? As of this moment, I have to give the advantage to Conor Benn by 1%. Yeah, 1%, as of right now. But let me explain why. Conor Benn has raw intensity. Mr. Benn has a killer instinct that does not need to see or taste blood to initiate termination mode. You see, his main mode is termination. Conor Benn is a natural puncher of the two. But this by itself does not guarantee a victory by any means. But it does give Benn the slight edge to me. So then what advantage might Eubank Jr. have, one might ask? Eubank Jr. has a slight size advantage if he uses it correctly. He's 5'11", middleweight boxer, while Benn is 5'8", welterweight. Eubank also has a slight experience advantage with 33 fights to Benn's 21 fights. I mean, Eubank Jr. even has experience in the losing spectrum of boxing. Believe it or not, that counts as experience also. There's an old saying, in order for one to truly know victory, one must know defeat. I know what you're thinking then. Experience and size versus raw killer instincts? To me, this is the proverbial 50-50 fight, or maybe even 49-51 fight. I really struggle to pick a decisive winner, so I prefer to witness the best man on that evening winning the fight. If I was to use the if principle, it would go something like this. If Eubank Jr. uses his slight size advantage and can fend off the aggressive and relentless Benn with clean boxing, he stands a great chance of victory. Keyword if. Actually, one more if real quick. If it goes the distance, most likely Eubank Jr. wins. If there's a stoppage, then it's all Ben. I'm sure most will agree with me on that one. What attributes of Eubank Jr.'s size is to advantage then? Well, for one, his jab and many variations of his jab. Strong jab, double jabs, jabs to the body, feints into jabs. He's got to really abuse his jab against the aggressive, forward-coming Conor Benn. You have to remember, the jab is key and the opponent is a lock. Before you can enter the door, you must unlock it. And not all doors can be entered with brute force. The jab can also be the first line of defense if used correctly. Ben, on the other hand, would need a less tactical approach and a more aggressive approach, which would be right up his alley anyway. His main goal early on in the fight would be to wear down Eubank Jr. with constant pressure and catch him later down the line, after Eubank Jr. has been worn down and battered. Ben's overall ring performances are very high intensity and fan-pleasing, as we all know. For example, if it was Ben fighting Liam Smith, Ben would have terminated him way early in the fight, basically due to Smith's lack of offense and, once again, Ben's killer instinct and termination mode. Actually, I'm not going to mention the proverbial puncher's chance because that favors Ben greatly, but at the same time, it does not turn its back fully upon Eubank Jr. I myself would label this fight boxer-puncher versus boxer. The rest, including the outcome, will have to be left up to the two combatants to decide. Well, boxing fans, let's keep our fingers crossed and hopes high that this fight actually happens. All right, I believe that's it. Let me know your thoughts. Drop me a comment or two, why don't you? As usual, I'm out.